I can give you the dribbling of Ronaldinho, the intelligence of Messi, the shooting of Ronaldo, and every skill you've ever dreamed of. But I guarantee that if you lack confidence, you'll still play like any random Sunday league player. Think about it. How many incredibly talented players do you know who could dominate at higher levels but never will because of this? Most players from this 17-year-old kid, Lamine Yamal. At just 17, he's dominating all Europe, performing effortlessly under the pressure of thousands of screaming fans and millions watching his every move. Meanwhile, you might be struggling to play your best simply because a few friends are watching from the sidelines. But how does he do it? How does someone so young maintain such cold-hearted composure and unwavering confidence despite immense pressure and judgment? In this video, I'm going to break down exactly how Lamine Yamal built this unbeatable confidence, and more importantly, how you can replicate it to finally unlock your true potential on the pitch. First of all, let's analyze his past. We call this process reverse engineering, and it's one of the most powerful ways to understand the exact roadmap to reach the pro level. It involves going back and studying a player's roots, seeing exactly what they did differently from the very beginning. Before joining La Masia, he spent his earliest and arguably most important years playing street football. He grew up playing in his neighborhood, often against dogs, which he himself described as one of the hardest challenges because dogs move unpredictably and aggressively. But even more importantly, he regularly played against guys who were way older than him, 20, 21-year-old players who were physically bigger, stronger and faster.
Jugaba mucho con ellos porque mi padre me decía que no te iban a morder, entonces pues siempre corría con ellos. Al final, jugar contra un perro yo creo que es lo más difícil que puedes hacer. Al final, jugar en la calle, todo lo que sea uno contra uno. Yo creo que me quitó el miedo de jugar con gente más grande. Al final siempre jugaba con amigos míos y los otros rivales eran de 20 años y yo tenía 11 o 12. Entonces yo creo que eso me quitó mucho el miedo y me hizo poder disfrutar y que pudiera jugar contra cualquiera y donde sea. Al final yo creo que todo eso te hace crecer, aunque tú creas que no te ayuda, siempre te ayuda porque al final cuando ves a uno más grande que tú sabes cómo ir a por él, cómo regatearle para que no te pueda.
In these games, he learned critical skills that traditional academies might not directly teach. He had to understand how to protect the ball with his body, use smart positioning, and develop footwork that would allow him to maneuver quickly in tight spaces against physically superior opponents. It was here, on the streets, where Yamal first developed his natural instincts. Street football doesn't have rules, referees, or coaches shouting tactical instructions every 5 seconds. It's just you, the ball, your friends, and your opponents. This freedom and unpredictability pushed Yamal to play with more creativity, to rely on his instincts, and to trust his decisions without overthinking. When he eventually joined La Masia, he already possessed incredible natural talent, honed from countless hours of street football. La Masia certainly provided structure, tactical awareness, and advanced football education. But remember, it's not La Masia that created his talent and confidence. They simply refined what he had already developed on the streets. If Yamal hadn't spent those crucial early years experiencing the unpredictability and toughness of street football, he would never have developed the confidence, instinct, and fearlessness we see him play with today. There's a clear reason why many of the world's best footballers share a similar origin story. Zidane, Ronaldinho, Zlatan, Neymar, Maradona, Cristiano, Messi, they all started in the same place, the streets. They spent hours every single day just playing football, exploring their creativity without the pressure of tactics or formal training, facing tougher, older, and sometimes aggressive opponents who forced them to develop a tougher mindset. This street environment naturally pushes players into what is known as a flow state, a psychological zone where everything comes naturally, effortlessly, and instinctively. And that's exactly what happened to Yamal. By playing against tougher opponents, he built this extremely strong mental foundation. He learned from experience that if he could handle street football against players twice his size, performing in front of thousands of fans and under the scrutiny of millions wasn't intimidating anymore. He'd already conquered tougher challenges, and now playing with opponents his own age seemed far less intimidating. For those who refuse to play on a team or do some pickup games with friends, expecting that only training alone will one day let them reach the pro level, I'm sorry to ruin your fantasy, but the harsh truth is this: football is a team sport. You can't treat it like swimming, sprinting, or running, where it's just you against yourself. Football needs both sides, the individual skills and the ability to read teammates and opponents in real time. You need to understand how to move within a team, how to adapt when things don't go your way, how to deal with opponents who don't just stand still like cones. Yes, doing drills alone is good. It builds your muscle memory, it sharpens your touch, it improves your technique, but opponents move, they pressure you, they cut passing lanes, they force mistakes, and you're not going to learn any of that by dribbling around cones. This is how every footballer builds his confidence. He exposes himself to hard challenges, like playing with tougher opponents, and learns from that. So get outside and play with real people. If you can't find anybody right now, no excuses, join a local team. Make some friends, ask them if they want to get extra sessions at the park, or if they know about pickup games happening around your city. You know, last week I sat down and rewatched that Barca versus Inter game, both legs. A fantastic, intense game. But what amazed me wasn't just the goals, it was Lamine Yamal's composure. You know, most guys right now, they just love watching highlights. A 2-minute TikTok edit, some funk music blasting in the background, releasing that sweet dopamine hit. But when you only watch the best moments, you completely miss the big picture. You miss the struggle, you miss the mistakes, and you miss what actually makes a footballer great. When you sit and actually watch a full 90 minutes, you don't just see the moments when a player scores or dribbles, you see the moments when they lose the ball, when they mess up, when they make bad decisions, and most importantly, you see how they react to it. Most players, and let's be honest, maybe you too, when they lose the ball once or twice, what do they do next? They get scared. They stop trying. Maybe next time they get the ball, they just pass it backwards. They're not trying to create anymore, they're just trying not to mess up again. But Yamal, in that game, before scoring that banger, he lost the ball like 7 or 8 times. And did he stop dribbling? Did he stop attacking? Nah, bro. He kept going like nothing happened. Because he was in the zone, in flow state. In this state, mistakes are just noise. They're just small bumps on the road. They don't mean anything about you, they don't define you. In flow, winning or losing a duel doesn't stick to you. You're too connected to the game to start overthinking. You're too deep in the moment to even care. If you could ask Yamal right after the game, bro, how many times did you lose the ball today? He probably wouldn't even know, because he wasn't counting. He wasn't keeping score, he was playing, but 99% make one mistake and suddenly they're out of the game mentally. I am going to help you now to win this fear. First of all, why do you think you're afraid of mistakes in the first place? It's because somewhere in your past, maybe a coach screamed at you when you tried to dribble and lost the ball. Maybe a parent made a face when you missed an open goal. Maybe teammates laughed at you. Somewhere along the way, your brain learned mistake equals pain. And now, every time you lose the ball, your mind doesn't just feel uncomfortable, it goes straight into survival mode. It's trying to protect you. It's trying to avoid that old feeling of shame, of being left out, laughed at, ignored. Deep down, your mind still thinks that making a mistake will leave you alone, and being alone means death. Now you might think, come on, that's a bit dramatic. But no, that's not you thinking. That's your inner child thinking. The little version of you, still inside you, who once believed that if he messed up, if he wasn't good enough, people would leave him behind. And for a child, being left behind means death. You don't even realize it, but until you consciously update that inner child, until you show him and prove to him that mistakes are part of the game, that little voice will keep hijacking you in matches. You want to fix this? Here's what I would do. First, sit down after training or matches and journal it. Ask yourself, when I lost the ball today, how did I feel? Did I react like it was the end of the world? The goal is awareness, because once you become aware of the trigger, you can break the pattern. Next step, during your next pickup game, or even just a training session, make a conscious decision. Every time I lose the ball, I immediately ask for it again. I chase it again. I don't try to hide. At first, it'll feel weird. You'll notice the fear rising. That's good. That means you found the edge of your comfort zone. And every time you push past it, you train your mind to stop associating mistakes with pain and start associating them with growth. That's how you enter flow. That's how you stay cold-hearted, like Yamal. Not by trying to be perfect, but by becoming immune to imperfection. If you want to know more about flow state, watch this video that will pop up on the top right. Now, let me introduce you to something that almost no one talks about, but that could completely change the way you play. It's called the alter ego. You see, the ego you have right now, the you walking around every day, it's weak, it's fragile, it's selfish, it cares too much about being liked, about looking good, about avoiding mistakes at all costs. Your normal ego is not built for that pressure. He's built for comfort. That's why so many top players and celebrities created an alter ego, because they understood that their normal self wasn't enough for the battlefield they were stepping into. They needed someone else, someone who didn't care about judgment, someone who didn't fear mistakes, someone who could handle the pressure without breaking. Zlatan Ibrahimovic created Zlatan. If you listen to him in interviews, he never says I or me, he says Zlatan, because he separates his football warrior from his normal self. David Goggins, one of the toughest men alive, created Goggins, a version of himself that could push through pain his normal self couldn't even imagine. And even in acting, actors don't just pretend to be someone else, they create a temporary alter ego to become that character fully. It's the only way to survive the pressure without losing your sanity. And you too can create one, because your normal self will always be scared of mistakes, scared of looking bad. But what if you created a version of yourself that is not scared, a version that doesn't care about missing a dribble? That's the power of the alter ego. So, are you ready to build yours? If you are, grab a pen, because once you create it, you'll never play the same again. Step 1. Decide exactly where you want your alter ego to show up. It could be only on the pitch. It could be during training sessions. It could even be in your daily life if you struggle with confidence outside football. But pick one battlefield for now. Step 2. List the qualities of this alter ego. And I don't mean just confident, I mean vivid. Is he ruthless when he dribbles? Calm under pressure? Does he smile when defenders try to trash talk him? Does he love the ball like it's a part of his own body? Feel emotionally connected to the traits. Step 3. Create a full image of him. It doesn't have to be a human. It could be a wolf, a lion, a snake, something you feel represents the energy you need to unleash. Kobe Bryant created the Black Mamba. Cold, fast, deadly. That was his alter ego. Step 4. Give him a name. This is critical. It makes it real. It could be a new name, or a powerful nickname, or even a different version of your own name. Something that when you whisper it before stepping on the field, something switches inside of you. Step 5. Find a trigger. A signature move that activates the alter ego. It could be clenching your jaw. It could be tightening your gloves. It could be tapping your chest twice. Anything that when you do it, tells your body, it's time, he's here. And when you step on the pitch, you become that alter ego. You play without fear. And most importantly, When the game ends, you leave that version of yourself on the field. You go back to being yourself and forget about everything. That's how you protect your piece off the pitch and unleash your monster on it. Remember, you're not pretending. You're not faking anything. You're just giving permission to a side of you that has always been inside, but has been buried by fear, doubt, and noise. Now it's time to set him free. If you're still here, I want you to understand something. Most players don't make it this far. Most players aren't willing to sit down, stay focused, and absorb everything that could change their career. But you're different. You're part of that small group, the 1% that actually chooses action over excuses, growth over comfort. And that's exactly why you have every right to believe that your dreams are possible. So don't let this momentum die. Grab the free ebooks if you haven't already. Keep surrounding yourself with the right people. Join the community where serious players are hitting the protocol daily and transforming their careers. Remember, hit the protocol and take action.